Okay, great. Well, again, so welcome everyone onto the first Lunch with Sequoia. So as I mentioned, this session is actually mainly is for you. It's not for us to talk to you. It's for you to ask questions. So again, every Friday, we will have an advisor online to answer all kind of questions. For example, how do you market? How do you generating deals? And if you have a deal, what's going on with the deal? Is it still doable or not? And in some cases, we can even price the deal for you right here and there. Okay. So for today, we have Jason on the line, and many of you probably already heard from him already just the past Wednesday. He is our training director with Sequoia. He is also a lender focusing on 1 to 4 units, fix and flips, constructions, so on and so forth. So again, today's topic is for you to bring in your deal, bring in your questions for us to help you out. So anyone who has the courage to ask the first questions.
Yeah, I got a question. This is Demetrius in Florida. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dimitri. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, when we're looking for flip and fix people, and this is directed toward Jason or you, Alan, what is the best format to find these people on the internet as far as marketing? I mean, what do you suggest? What places to go to look for people that do flip and fix so you could contact them? Could you answer that, please?
Yeah, I think your number one area that you're going to find it is LinkedIn. If you go into LinkedIn, there's various ways of searching. But if you just put in fix and flip, and what state are you in?
I'm in Florida.
Go ahead. What state?
Florida. I'm in Florida.
Okay, so yeah, fix and flip in Florida is you're going to have thousands of people. Now you could put renovation. You could kind of wordsmith and just use a very similar type of searches. But fix and flip, new builders, developers, real estate investors. I mean, there's so many ways that you can look in Florida. You probably, in a given year, you probably couldn't get through Florida with all your different searches. That's How many people are there in Florida for investments. So, but I think 58% of my loans that I write is in Florida. So that is by far the biggest.
Let me jump in on that as well, because yes, Jason is absolutely right. Besides of the fix and flips, we are closing a lot of 1 to 4 unit in Florida, and I would say on Sequoia, I would say about 30% of our business is in Sequoia, whether it's 1 to 4 unit warehouses or commercials. So right now, as we speak, if I'm not mistakenly, we have like 5 1 to 4 unit in Florida. We have 2 warehouses in Florida right now. So yes, it's definitely a hot market.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Thank you, Jason and Alan.
Keep in mind, everyone, when I give my opinions, that's it. That's my opinion. Okay, so it's not the exact science, but I've been in the same shoes before. As being an originator, I've done underwriting, being a partner in a lending company. So I've done it all. But I've found that LinkedIn was my best source to find serious business owners that do fix and flip renovation projects as a business. Now, you're going to find others if you just go through, your neighborhood type of yellow pages, or even like some of the searches you can do in Google or some of the others. Like, you can do those type of things, but sometimes you find more of people that actually work for someone else. So they do remodeling, but they might be too small of jobs. They might be looking at it as it's part of their daily work rather than as a business where they buy properties, renovate them, and then sell them or keep them as a rental property. So LinkedIn typically has usually a better profile of the client you're looking for.
Jason, do you actually call these people, or do you just message them first?
Okay, so there's a few ways. What's nice about LinkedIn is you don't have to get back to someone exactly that 1 second. So you can set up a generic marketing introduction, and just basically send it out. And whoever responds. Something like, we offer 90% leverage today, or right now on your, Alan will help you with the different marketing kind of catchphrases that you want to send out.
Okay.
As they send you the questions, most of them you might know, but some of them that you don't, you can ask the lender, you can ask Alan, you can ask other people that's part of Sequoia how to best answer that, and then copy and paste. And that's all I did when I first learned on real estate 6 years ago when I started, is basically copy and paste. One of the partners of my company was a guy I went to college with. And so basically I said, hey, how do I answer this? And basically all I did was copy and paste, because they are coming to you. They don't know if you've been doing this for one day or 10 years, but it's the answer that they're looking for. So get used to taking your time, coming up with the right answer and sending it off. And things don't happen overnight. So it's not like you have to send it like right away. So if it takes a day or two, it's fine. But find the right answer. And, that's how you get other people. That's how you set up a relationship with a lot of these people on LinkedIn, is they tend to ask you more questions. And that's a good way of starting to get that relationship started.
Okay. All right. Well, let me jump in right here. Let's do the etiquette, right? So when you ask question, please just ask one question at a time so that other people will have opportunity to ask. Okay. So I do see him right.
I have a follow-up question.
I do see it.
Oh. I'm from Florida. The problem for me, there are a lot of advertisement actually that people put on Facebook, that they are flipping a house and they have this opportunity and that opportunity. What is the best approach to respond or pick on their advertisement that will stand me out of the others?
Okay, now Facebook is a different beast in itself. Okay, now, and I've done it. You have to understand that Facebook is just purely numbers. You send out 10,000 different, like basically it's just all numbers. So whatever you send out, do it on a daily basis. Get back to people. Have a lot of your answers that's going to be generic, that you could just copy and paste, save yourself some time. But just keep it as it is. Facebook is, you're going to find, once in a while, you're going to find a lead, but it is just purely numbers, and it is very difficult.
No,
so
I find a lot of leads.
What's that?
What am I asking? I'm sorry. My question was, I have a lot of leads there, people advertising or putting on Facebook. What is your recommendation? How to respond to them that it will catch their eye, or they will take it seriously?
You just have to act like any type of originator or lender, right? We basically have 9 basic questions that we need to have answered. That goes from the name, the address of property, the what is appraised for right now, what's the as-is value, what are they doing to the property, how much is the construction budget? There's like 9 questions that we have. Send out those 9 questions each time, because if someone can't answer them, then it's not a serious serious offer or borrower.
Let me jump in right here. Yoran, utilize your website. You go to your website, you go to the product page. We have all these different types of loan scenarios set up for you already. So every loan scenario, you click on it, you will see a link. All you have to do is to send that link to the client saying that, hey, fill out this link, give me some basic information, we will get back to you. So that is what the scenario form is all about. That is what the website is all about. Okay, so please utilize that website. So we see Donald right here. Mr. Donald Moore.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Wu and Mr. Song. I was wondering if when I have a client that submit and they don't process, they don't go through, they don't qualify, do we send them any kind of material to help them if they have credit issues, to help them get credit straight?
You know, I look at this way. If you are in a position where you have the time, then I would say, and you have the, like, you're making a good living and you have the time and you want to help someone out, that's more of your personal approach. Me, if I see, I'm not saying that you have to be shallow in thinking this, but if you see an opportunity where they can actually grow and fix a couple of things and then they'll be a qualified borrower, then yeah, take the time. But other than that, most of the time, if they don't qualify because of a major hurdle, and one is going to be credit or liquidity, those are two major hurdles, then they should call you back when they fix them, okay? Or call you back when they're in better position, liquidity, because we can't change that. It's not like you're going to give them money, okay, to help with their project. Or like I tell everyone, remember, a corporation can be one person or multiple people. So bring someone on that fix that gap. So if you are low in credit, bring in a partner that's better credit. You guys work out the equity. If you are low on money, bring in someone that's going to be on the capital side. What are you bringing to the table? If you're bringing the experience, then, you know, reach out to someone that has the capital. Then that will take care of that. So you can only help them so much. And that's what I would recommend, is saying, yeah, don't just say, hey, you don't qualify and move on. Give them some wisdom and ideas of how they can qualify in the future, but I would not spend too much of your time and effort with that one person.
And let me jump in right here, Donald, that it's what our processing team is all about. So when you submitted a deal to us, and when this is how it works. When you submitted a deal through the scenario form, you will receive an email, we will receive an email with that particular client, okay? So once we have that, we will analyze the data that they put in. Let's say, for example, the credit score is low. So in that case, we will respond to you and the client, letting them know that, hey, your credit score is a little challenging. Doesn't look like that you can go through this loan. We suggest you to fix your credit first. And if you want to fix your credit, fill out the credit repair form, so on and so forth. So we give them a suggestion so that you, as the agent, do not need to think about how to come up with solutions. That is not your job. And that is our job as the processing team. So your job is focusing on generating the deals submitted to us. And we will inform you when we looked at the scenario, and we will give you all the advice, what to do with that particular client. Okay, very good. Okay, we do see Margaret. Margaret, please.
I have two quick questions. Number one, for the client, they are thinking to apply for the bridge loan, which application form I suppose to fill it out. I look at the scenario form, I did not see one for bridge loan application. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, there's no such thing as a bridge loan. A bridge loan is a type of loan. For example, a 30-year fix, 5-year arm, 3-year arm, bridge loan. Those are all different type of products. So what you need to submit in, it's a scenario form. So let's say the client is purchasing a 1 to 4 unit scenario, 1 to 4 unit. So again, submit the 1 to 4 unit. Once we receive the 1 to 4 unit, then we can analyze it. Is it going to be a better off 30-year fix? So for example, let's say you submit it in a warehouse into us. In the warehouse, it's a vacant warehouse. It's not rented out or whatsoever. Then we will give you a suggestion that, hey, this most likely is going to be a bridge loan, and this is what the rate and term would be. But if you submit a 1 to 4 units all rented out, then we will give you a 30-year loan. So again, it based on depending on the scenario, we will give you the suggestion what will be the best loan to apply for. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
The second one is a fix and flip. Do we have a pre-qualified process, obtain the client's information and their down payment, accept the property information and get the client pre-approved first.
Jason, you want to jump in?
Oh yeah, so Alan, I don't know exactly how you set up on your website. I mean, we have a pre-approval process, and you know, if you really think about it, there's three factors that it's going to get someone pre-approved, and you don't even have to go through the whole putting it into a system. If their FICO is above 660, that's their credit score. If they have liquidity, which is around 30% of the project cost, okay? If they have those two factors and experience, they have no problem qualifying. So those three factors: experience, money, and credit. Now, if they don't, if they're weak in one of those three areas, then yeah, they're probably not going to get pre-approved, but doesn't mean we can't do the loan. We just have to look at it. I like to have that old phrase. I tell this to all the brokers and originators that come to us and say, hey, if they have money and they have a good project, we'll probably figure a way to get it done one way or the other. Okay, so those are the two. FICO is one of those where, hey, you could have high credit balance right now because the economy is just horrible. So does that mean that we can't work with you? No, of course we can work with you. So we'll look at, in some situations, we'll look at a credit report and try to analyze why their credit is lower than usual. And obviously, the number one thing we look for is make sure that they were never behind on a mortgage or any kind of real estate loan. So that's kind of our first thing that we look at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What if
Margaret, let's move on to the next person so everybody have a chance. Okay. Ms. Robinson, Abria Robinson.
Hey. My question is, hey, how is everyone? I submitted a deal, Mommy Moment. Can you tell me, you know, what's the next step, or are there any other things that he needs to produce? Because I haven't heard anything back from you folks.
So
okay.
For Mommy, you say Mommy Moment. What type of deal is this?
It was construction. He wants to build a new daycare center in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I submitted it for the scenario. You came back and told me you needed a construction plan, a pro forma, and
okay. Yes. So for that particular one, on 4 days ago, we responded to an email to you and also Ryan at Mommy's Moment, requesting the construction budget, track record, personal financial statement, and pro forma. And we have not heard anything back yet. So please ask your clients to look for that particular email. If not, probably in the spam box. And if you receive that email, please inform your client and ask them to respond to us. So we are waiting for the documentation from Ryan.
Okay, I need to get back with his accountant because his accountant does all of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Now that is a very, very good question. Once we submit it in, within 24 to 48 hours, our processing team will respond to all scenario forms requesting documentations. If you do not get it, most likely the email is in a spam box or somewhere. So please check on it. And most importantly, instead of asking us for status, please talk to your client first. Hey, did you receive an email from us? And have you submitted documentations to us? So that is your job to help us out. Because right now we have over, I would say on a day-to-day basis, we have over between 30 to 50 inquiries every single day. So we heavily rely on every single agent, consultant out there to help us out to follow up the documentation. So thank you so much, Ms. Robinson. That's a very, very good and important questions. So let's move on to Rudy Cortez. Rudy?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. It's Rudy in San Antonio, and I had a question. Can we fund investors who are foreigners out of country, and what does that process look like?
Yes, the answer is yes. The easiest process is to say this: if you're a foreign national, you have to set up a U.S. entity. So they would have to set up an LLC, which they're allowed to. and open a U.S. bank account. So those are the two factors that we want for any foreign national.
Excellent. And does it make a difference if it's like a development deal versus a single family investment unit?
No, like I said, if they have money and they have a good project, we'll find a way.
Okay. And is there like a loan to value that you're roughly looking at as far as money?
Those are getting to some trickier questions, Rudy. It's going to be project specific, area specific. If it's in San Antonio, we like that area, so we might go a little bit higher leverage. If you're saying something like some rural city in Texas, that would be probably less leverage. So usually the bigger the city, bigger metropolitan area, a little bit higher leverage, more experience, higher leverage. These are factors that go into leverage when we're doing or when we're analyzing the deal. So, that's kind of one of those where I can't say it without looking at a specific project.
Okay, so you just need them at least have the entity and the bank account set up and the money.
Oh, that's just to submit the loan request. Yes, and after that, we would need your basic things. Okay, what is the property? What are they trying to do? What is the development? How many are they building? What's their experience like in building those? If it's a development, I would like to know who's actually the contractor. Texas is a unique state. You don't have to have a licensed GC. I know all the little factors of most areas. So there will be a series of questions that Alan's team or myself would ask on that development to make sure that we're getting all the necessary pieces to make a just a
thank you for calling. Yeah.
To give you an answer on that. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Miss Ngan down. Ngan, are you there?
Sorry, Alan. Sorry, Jason. I would let somebody ask first. I'm I'm not ready yet. Sorry.
Okay.
About that.
How about Kim? Miss Kim Thomas?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. This is actually my first time on a Zoom with you guys, and I've been with you since February.
Very good.
But, life happens. Now, I was introduced to Sequoia through URIC, and I was just wondering about the EVs and such. Would we be able to get funding for those? Because there isn't anything on the product page that lists that, because we are a commercial lender, if you will. There's a big difference between retail and commercial. I also, I did loan origination years ago. I did creative financing, which I'm very pleased to see that you don't call it that, but you all do that as well.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yep. Kim, to answer your questions, yes. As a matter of fact, many Sequoia members right here are also
records showing similar projects in the last 3 days.
Okay. So yes, many of our members right here are also associated with URIC. So very good company out there. So regarding to the EV stations, that is the equipment loans. So yes, we already have lenders that can fund EV charging stations. All you have to do, just go to your website, go to the equipment loan scenario form, fill in some basic information for us. Now, for equipment loan, we are looking for companies that has been in business for at least 2 years and own their own property. So, for example, let's say you go to a multifamily, absolutely, we can do that. But let's say you go to a restaurant that is leasing a space, that most likely we cannot do it because they're leasing that space. But however, let's say you go to an office building and they own that building, they want to install EV stations on those buildings. Yes, absolutely, we can do that. So all they have to do just to fill out an application, and also most importantly, I need an invoice from the vendor to show what type of EV stations that they're charging, what is the installation price, what is the cost of the equipment, so on and so forth, so that we can qualify them through the equipment. So normally for equipment loan like this, it funds very, very quickly. Once the information is in, within 24 to 48 hours, we should have a quote from a lender. And if the client agreed to it, we can fund that deal within 5 to 7 business days.
What about the vehicles, Alan?
The vehicles, okay, now it's very tricky. So you need to, now if the vehicle, it's a consumer use vehicle, most likely we cannot fund it, okay? Unless you tell me that this is a commercial vehicle and they use it for commercial purpose. Now, however, if it is a consumer vehicle, like, you know, like a 4-passenger consumer vehicle.
It's a personal, right.
Right. It will be much cheaper if you go get a loan from the dealer instead of us, because remember, we are commercial lenders. So anything that related commercial rate and term would be more expensive. Now, we funded a lot of trucks. We funded a lot of trailers, food truck, things like this. Yeah, absolutely. So we can fund those things.
And that's under equipment as well. As far as the vehicles are, where would I find that on the product list?
That is going to be on the heavy equipment and truck scenario.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
thank you very much.
Rule of thumb, consumer use product is not our favorite. Because it's very hard for us to get along. Even though we can get along, the rate and term is not going to be pretty. Most likely the client will not go for it anymore. So if you're talking about EV charging station, equipment loan. If you're talking about EV vehicle, go to the dealer.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you, because you know we have a EV that's $1 million, the Terminator.
Well, absolutely. So, I mean, as long as it's a commercial use. Well, you're talking about $1 million vehicle. It got to make sense, right? So who is going to purchase a $1 million vehicle to commercial. Do what, right? So again, right. Gotcha. Ms. Landau, are you? Sure. Thank you so much, Kim. Ms. Landau, are you ready to ask? If not, then I will move on to Mr. Donald Moore. Donald, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you again. I just want to give her a time if she was ready. Once again, Don Moore from DMV. In terms of the fix and flip, can someone explain to me the LTV stabilized bridge? What does that mean?
Okay, so it's loan to value. So LTV means loan to value. So loan to value is what it's valued at present state, and that means that the construction has already been completed. So renovation's already been completed. Stabilized means it's rented. What was the last one? LTV stabilized?
Yes,
bridge. Okay, so bridge is okay. So a bridge is it's a length of a loan. So a bridge, think of a bridge as you're going from one side to another, just like a real bridge. So a bridge loan is just that temporary type of loan to get you from one state to another. So typically a bridge loan is used for what? Let's say you're buying a property and then you're using a bridge loan to buy a property, a 1 to 4 unit or something like that. And then eventually you're going to rent it out and then you're going to put into a permanent 30-year loan. Okay, so it's a bridge. Now you might have a bridge for a fix and flip is a common bridge loan, right? Because you're taking it out for a year or 2 years of time, fix a place and then sell it, or fix a place and then rent it. Okay, so that's a bridge loan for that purpose. Another one could be that you're in between, you've just finished building a house and you need that extra time to get out of your construction loan, go into a bridge loan because you're going to put the property up for sale. And so you need a bridge loan during that time. And so it's almost like a gap loan. Okay, and like a lot of you guys would know what gap loans are. So the bridge is just filling in that scenario. So there, when they say LTV stabilized bridge, so you break it down to 3 different things. LTV means the value as it is right now. Okay, stabilized means it's rented, and bridge means short term. So you put those 3 together.
Awesome. Thank you.
And let me chime in right here, Donald. You are also asking a very, very good questions. And this is also to everyone in this room. If you really, really want to make money in commercial lending with Sequoia, focusing on a few products. And one of these products is a bridge loan product. There are so many properties out there in bridge loan, are having a bridge loan. And many of those bridge loan like I said, it's about to many of those bridge loans will expire. And on a day-to-day basis, we have a lot of clients come to us telling us that, hey, Alan, my bridge loan is going to expire. Can you help me to refinance? Give you some examples. Some of these bridge loans, including warehouses. Now, let me step back. Many clients purchased investment property a few years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever that might be, or 2 years ago, whatever that might be. Now, I would say majority of this commercial property, when they purchase it, are unstabilized property, meaning that there's nobody's actually renting that property, or sometimes they would purchase the property to use it for their own business, but because at that time the property was vacant, they would not be able to get a long-term note for it. So a lot of these properties are in bridge loan situation. So now after 2 or 3 years, this bridge loan, the term is up. They need to refinance. Regardless what the economy is, they have to refinance. So we are seeing a lot of warehouses, office buildings, retails, mixed use apartment buildings that come to us, and it's for bridge loan, and especially for a multifamily, okay, apartment building multifamily. A lot of them are bridge loans. Let's say an apartment building that got 20 units, and now the time is up. Now, unfortunately, however, the 20 unit, they only have like 17, it's rented it out. The other 5 unit is vacant because the tenant moved out and in transition, whatever that might be. So in that case, because the property is not 100% occupied or not 75% occupied or 80% occupied, many lenders will see this type of property as a bridge loan, right? So again, there's so much opportunity out there for bridge loan. And also, there's another type of bridge loan is a lot of clients, they are purchasing investment property, 1 to 4 unit. They used to be able to go to the local bank to get a loan. But with today's market, a lot of the local bank tightening up their underwriting guideline takes so long. And all of a sudden they realize that, hey, they need to close in about 2 weeks. They need to close in 3 weeks, and the current lender still cannot get the loan closed. And now they panic. They will come to us to get bridge loan again, day to day. Real example. 2 days ago, there is a property up in New York, called us up $6.5 million. They went to a local bank. The local bank saying, hey, I can give you 30% down. I can fund you 70%. I give you an interest rate of 7%. After 2 months, they still have not yet even ordered appraisals. And now the contract is going to be expired by the end of the month. Their panic came to us 2 days ago saying that, hey, Alan, I need $3.5 million and I need it in 10 days. Can you do it? Absolutely. We have a lender immediately come in, give them $3.5 million. We can close in 7 days. No appraisal needed. So again, there's a lot of opportunity out there like that on bridge loans. So go out there, hunt for it, and you'll be surprised. Okay?
Great.
Yeah. And I'll just piggyback on Alan there. Bridge loans right now, what we see in as a lender, the most common bridge loan right now, and which makes sense, is for those that are using it short-term period, 1 year, 2 years, and thinking that the rates for permanent and some of these institutional rates are going to go down, which could happen in 2024. So as an investor, do I try to work with some of the banks and other institutions trying to get 7.5% money, or can I take a 9.5%, 10.5% right now to interest only for the next 2 years and wait till those rates come down? And like Alan says, maybe finish my renovation, maybe get it stabilized, raise rents. There's a lot of things that you can do during that time. Your payment is of roughly the same amount as if you do your PT, payment in taxes and interest, right? So in essence, you're paying the same amount every month with your, and it's that bridge during this time that you don't have to try to go through the qualifying from a bank or an institution, or they give you this bait and switch, which basically says we're going to lend to you, but they never do. And we see the signs all the time when someone doesn't order an appraisal or someone doesn't do what they're typically supposed to do as a lender. So bridge loans heck of a lot of sense, and they're a lot easier to close. And they take less time and less red tape. So definitely push for bridge loans.
Thank you.
That makes a lot of sense right now.
Excellent. Basically on that time, that message of time, what is the average time frame for a loan fix and flip or bridge loan to close? Can we say a week to a couple of weeks? Is that realistic?
It's all based upon appraisal and how we get the value. Okay. So what I like to tell people, yeah, we can close within 10 days if you have everything. You know, typically the borrower, okay, is the one that delays the close because of getting us the proper paperwork and all the other things that we need for underwriting and processing. So a good rule of thumb is to tell people that we can close within 2 weeks after getting the appraisal. So by the time appraisal gets ordered, some areas take longer than others. If you go to DC, it's going to take it's going to have a different turnaround time than you would in Florida, or you would have it in Texas or California. So the appraiser, we cannot control. Third parties, we cannot control how much time it's going to take them. So once we have that appraisal back, you can pretty much safely say 2 weeks after we get the appraisal back. Because during the time the appraisal is ordered, we're getting all the other paperwork. So we're basically getting all of our underwriting and processing done while we're waiting for the appraisal. All the appraisal does, it confirms your assumptions. If the borrower tells you assumptions, that appraisal just matches the assumptions. And that's what we're looking for as a lender, that we're having a third party go out there as an appraiser, appraises the situation, appraises what the construction will bring the value to, tell us the comps in the area, and then we feel good about the terms that we gave to that loan.
Yep, absolutely. So again, he said already, delay process, delay paperwork that delays the closing. So that is why we rely on you heavily to help us to get the document. Now in Sequoia, we also have a support team. So every time when we send out a request, one of our one of our team member, her name is Maria, she will also reach out to you and your client, letting them know that, hey, we need the documentation from you, but help us out, okay? Miss Landau, please, your turn.
Okay, good morning from California, Jason and Alan. I have the question. I have two questions. If it's okay for me, I will make it quick. First of all, about the processing. So I know that our process is getting document from the client, from the loan consultant, so our team can go to find a lender, right? And then when we find a lender, I would love our process a little bit more similar, that our, we don't ask question information again. So can we some way generate the information at first when we have it from client through our website and also through our processing team? When we target the lender, we don't have to repeat all these questions and forms.
Okay, so let me answer that question regarding to the documentations. Initially, we want the minimum documentations from the client. We don't want them to submit a whole bunch of stuff and the deal is not workable and they end up very frustrated, okay? So we want the minimum documentation from them to evaluate the deal. If the deal is workable, we provide the rate and term, etc. And once they agree to the rate and term and move forward, then we always provide a list of documentation from that lender, which depending on the type of loan and depending on which lender that we use, we always will send you a complete list of whatever we need. So now this is another thing. Most of the time we see documentations come in one piece at a time. So please help us out. Please don't do that. So if we ask for 10 things, please ask them to give us the 10 things. Don't give us one thing and then 2 days later give another one and 2 days later give another one. You run into a client like that all day long. So help us to collect all those 10 things, send it to us. And once we have all those 10 documentations that we request from the lender, we submit it to the lender for approval. Now, what we do is that we also review the documentation that they send us. So for example, let's say we're asking for 3 months of tax return, 3 months of bank statement. Let's say they only give us the first page of those 3 months is not it's not going to work, we will go back and ask them to give us the full documentations, okay, full statements. So anyway, once we process the whole thing, we submit it to the lender is going to review it, and doing underwriting, there will be more documentation that they might need to ask. So for example, after the doing the underwriting, they might say that, okay, fine, I see there are 2 people that in your LLC. Now, when you submit the loan to us, I think that I don't need the second person, but now I feel more comfortable to ask for more information from the second owner of the company. Please give me that documentation. Or after underwriting, they're saying that, oh, the property is renting it out, and the documentation, the lease agreement is on a month-to-month basis. And sometimes they come back to us saying that, hey, I want to see a documentation that it's that is a long-term lease instead of month-to-month. So again, we try to make it as complete as possible, but there's no perfect world in underwriting. They always come back to us and asking for more information. So that is what documentation is all about. So many times on our end, we also respond to the client when lender come to us saying that, hey, give me this, give me that. And our processor, Chris, most of the time will go back to the lender saying that, why do you need this? Can you erase this? Can you not take this out? So we do a lot of work in the back end. And unfortunately, it's the lender's money. When they need that documentation and when they need it, we have to provide. So that is, again, that is the nature of funding, to asking for information from the client.
Thank you. I totally agree with you, and that's it, correct. Those are concerned from my downline loan consultant. Yep. The thing that they ask is, they concern is about information, asking again, the document, I totally agree. They missing piece, they sending pieces, that is not good. And it will, will delay the process. But the information of the client and their businesses, some are repeatedly asking. So, let me touch on why we keep asking, because when we ask for something, they send us some documentations that they think it is what we asked for. But after we reviewed it, it's not what we asked for. We will ask again until we got the right document. So I'm monitoring all these deals right here. I do see a few clients or a few cases from your team that we are asking for document over and over and over and over again. It's just because we never got the right one. They keep sending us some information that is not what we need. So on our end, we will try to do the best we can not to bug everyone, but hey, help us out. When we ask for something, that means that we don't have it or we don't have the right one. So help us out. Yeah. Honestly, just believe me, I don't want to see those documents, okay? But unfortunately, if we need it, you don't give it to me, we need to get the loan done. So we have to keep asking. I totally agree. I hope that this will answer my downline loan consultant. Second question about the deal. I sorry to have to ask my second question, but I think a lot of us will interesting in this one. This is a fix and flip, or maybe a client will be whole, but the buyer have no down payment and receiving a gift from the seller. How can we do this deal since client don't have any money to make a down payment?
Jason?
Let's go find it. I mean, we're not going to write okay. So the only thing that we could do is like, we will work with someone that has had 3 loans with us previously. So we'll go up to, I mean, the more and more we have clients use my company, we're going to give them up to 95% leverage if they have three loans with us within the last 3 years. So we want someone that has the ability to complete jobs and finish jobs. But if someone comes in without never having a loan with us and is looking for less of a down payment, then they need to go find it. We really worry. Well, think about if it's your own money. Would you really want to give someone money when they can't afford the down payment or to get started? So think of that on a bigger scale. It's very tough. So if they can't even get their friends and family to give them the down payment money, it's tough to ask for someone that doesn't know them to give them a break here or there or higher leverage. But usually that comes with, that they've completed jobs, paid back jobs, and for the most part, anyone that's done that is not in that liquidity poor. Typically people that are successful in the real estate business, granted, everyone has failures, but typically they know that liquidity is the number one thing that they need to finish a project. And liquidity is also, lack of liquidity is the number one reason why a project doesn't get finished.
Let me give you a tip how to do that.
Okay.
You want to see that tip? It's actually pretty simple.
But client will have their money for remodeling, for the rehab, but they don't have the money for the down payment.
Okay, so let me tell you how to resolve this. This is applied to not just fix and flip. It could be any commercial funding. Could be an apartment building, could be 1 to 4 units, so on and so forth. So the way that we do is to suggest, let's say A is the client, doesn't have the down payment. And let's say B is the one that has the down payment. So in this case, we will ask A to set up an LLC together with B. And A is going to own 90% of the LLC, and B is going to own 10% of the LLC. So in that case, then we can look at B's bank statement as the down payment because both of them are actually in the same LLC. Does it make sense? So in this case, most lenders do not require B to sign the paperwork because B only has 10% of the company. But now we can use B's down payment. Is that right, Jason? Can we do that? I mean, I've done a lot of those things.
For the most part, theoretically, like we can teach people like how to kind of massage the numbers or massage the entity and make it work. But it just comes down to this. An entity, an LLC can be more than one person. Just kind of keep it simple.
Okay.
So if one of the people within that entity is the money person, and one of the people within the entity is the builder or the GC or the one that has experience, it makes sense to put them together. And we don't care if their relationship is as friends or if whatever they are. It just, we look at it as an entity. We really look at it as a, here's the name of the company. This is what they have, and this is what they're going to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I do have a question here in the chat box from Frank. He has been waiting for us for a long time, so let me answer that one first. So Frank, you're asking, can you tell me the client was approved for $10,000? The client's name is Rogelio Butrago. Okay. Rogelio. Okay. So he actually applied for the funding on July 12th. However, he applied it through the company website. That's why we do not see your name on it. And so please, okay, make sure that he applied through your website so that you can get credit. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that we responded to him immediately 24 minutes later, asked him to complete the application and upload the documentations to us. So as of today, we still do not see anything like this. So Frank, if you don't mind, send me your email. I'm going to forward this email to you so that you can help me to follow up with the client. Okay. So that is in process. So we have Charles. Charles, please.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
How are you doing?
Okay, I'm out of Florida here by way of Chicago, but my question is on these, what do you call it? Body sculpting. Do we have a way of finding people that have these body sculpting shops and financing some of those that they have clients that cannot pay the full price of those? Or do you understand what I'm saying?
Body sculpting shop.
Body sculpting.
Body sculpting.
It's like a non-invasive liposuction.
So is that like a medical type of business related to?
Yeah, I would think so, yes.
So what do they need the money for?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, we definitely need to know what is the money. Well, put it this way, right? So if there's a business now, do they own any real estate?
That I don't know either, because I have not contacted anyone. I've just been going through the Google and looking up body sculpting, because I remember you saying something about that once. Body sculpting, that's been about a few months back.
Yeah, we need to know what do they need the money for. Now, let's say they need the money to expand their business. So that is working capital. We need to see 2 years of their tax return, right? Now, if they're saying that, hey, I need money to purchase some sort of equipment that they can do whatever work that would be, that would be equipment. So again, find out what they do and submit the proper scenario form for us to review.
Okay, so no clients, if they have a client that could get on a payment plan or something other like that. That's not a doable thing.
Yeah, we do not fund their clients. We fund the business. So yeah, we unless the client has a business, then we can fund the client's business and he can use the money to do whatever he needs to do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Larry, Mr. Larry Sanders. Larry, please unmute yourself.
Sorry about this. My name is Larry, and hello everyone from Evansville, Indiana. Yep. 2 questions. On the non-disclosure agreement, I have an LLC. Should I put that on the disclosure agreement as long with my name?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. No and the other question is on the bridge loan products, where do we find those? Do we find those on the LinkedIn, or that's something that we have to go in our local county and do the research to find those type of loans?
I guess I'm not quite, are you saying you're looking for people that need those type of bridge loans, or are you looking for?
Yes, those already to have some.
Oh, okay. Bridge loans is just a type of loan. That just means it's a short-term loan. So basically what you should be asking is, for those that are looking for real estate funding, debt. We offer debt. Maybe Alan might have some avenues for equity, but typically for us, it's just going to be debt. So if they need a loan for their construction real estate project or construction development, then they should contact you. And bridge is just a short-term answer to a lot of their needs. And it's primarily about 90% of all of our loans are going to be bridge loans.
Okay, all right.
And Larry, and also to everyone, also very good question right here. We have a set of marketing material prepared for everyone. So what you need to do is to utilize those marketing materials, use it on your social media, let people know that you have this type of funding resources, and they will come. You can post it on LinkedIn, you can post it on Facebook, whatever that might be. And also for Sequoia, every time when we close a deal that is unique, we always make a flyer and post it to our Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth. So feel free to download those or repost those posts so that your community can see what Sequoia can do, and hence they will come to you for funding. So if you need any marketing material whatsoever, send an email to marketing@seclending.com. Okay, marketing@seclending.com, and I just posted the email address to everyone on the checkbox. Feel free to send them an email and tell them what you need. Okay, Monica.
Hello, Alan. I have a question. I have a client that is interested in, he's an investor and he's interested in the fix and flip. However, he only has he says 2 years, but I really think it's probably a year experience. His personal credit score is excellent, but he does not have documents to show his monthly income, what he brings in.
Stop you right there. We don't care about his income.
Got it. Okay. So is he, I don't know, is he a prime candidate for a fix and flip? Because basically what he's saying is he wants a business line of credit. He doesn't want
business line of, sorry. Business line of credit is totally different than fix and flip. Fix and flip, Jason explained it to you already what that is.
Right.
But business line of credit is saying that you have a business that you're in operation, you're generating income on a monthly basis, and then the lender will base on your income to give you a line of credit. Now, most of the time for business line of credit, lenders are looking for brick and mortar business, restaurants, doctor's office, flower shops, mechanic shops, things like this, that they have consistent income coming in every single month so that they can evaluate what the business looks like. And based on that, they will give you the business line of credit. But if you're talking about somebody that it's a fix and flipper, then obviously getting a business line of credit is almost impossible because, you know, it's based on for fix and flip, they still have to evaluate every single project. They need to understand what are you buying. They need to look at your construction budget, things like this. So that's two different things. So answer to your first question, can they do fix and flip? Absolutely, no problem. Can they get a business line of credit? Now, depending on what type of business that they got. So there are two different loans.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Dimitris?
Yeah, I got one question here. I heard Mr. Willis mention about consumer financing, and I don't think that you do that, but I did find a company in Florida, and I've looked at about 15 different consumer finance companies, and I found this to be the best I've ever seen. They go from a credit score of 500 up to 850, and they had to reject anybody that qualifies. And it's for consumer finance. And now, can I run that through you, Ellen, so you can take a look at it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll make sure you get the link for it and you can look at it. It's discretionary whether you want it or not, but I think it can help your business.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we do pretty good today. We are right at the clock, 1 p.m. right now. So again, we don't want to drag this thing on, and this is our first time doing lunch with Sequoia. Thank you so much, Jason. And he just has finished up his breakfast over there in California. So again, we will do this thing again next week. So suggestion to you, what we will do for trainings like this. After that, we are going to send a survey to everybody who attend. Let us know how we do. Let us know you like it or not. Let us know what you would like to hear from us. Most importantly is to, answer questions that, you have on a day-to-day basis. So the most important thing is that we want interaction, bring in your questions. So today's fantastic. Very good. And hopefully see you next time, next Friday. So have a good day, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.